This is why no knock warrants. Okay. This is why they shouldn't be able to knock on your door before they kick it in and try to threaten you with guns. That's what that is. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this makes me so mad on 55 different levels.
55.
Name
all 55.
3 points I want to make here.
Three of them. Okay, name all. Wait, never mind. Name all. Make some mad 55 levels. Gonna name 2. All right. Okay.
Two major points I want to make here.
He's already doing a good job.
After watching this
guy.
HPD officers at the door serving a knock search warrant, and stuff hit the fan. They get shot at the door and all of the other stuff. The point I want to make, and I'm going to show you the video, and I'm going to show you why. It doesn't show anybody getting shot, YouTube. It's obviously already displayed on the news, so it's covered. They're not going to show nothing they shouldn't be showing on the news. So why we should do a no-knock warrants, why no-knock warrants are way more important and invaluable, and then also the fecklessness, the cowardice of police chiefs in the rhetoric that they're spewing. And I don't know. I didn't see the
rhetoric that police chiefs are spewing. They're chiefs of police. Now you get it, Brandon. Now you get it.
Press conference. But, bruh, wait till you hear what he said. Roll the film.
You're in charge of that.
Video plays out.
Roll the film. Hey, producer, can you press play on the YouTube video?
About how Houston police says the morning went down. They knocked, the woman answered, and eventually.
Now already I'm just gonna give an observation, and this is not the body worn camera. I couldn't find enough time to make this video, so I'm just gonna go off of what I see. So the tactics are already nonchalant.
Okay.
Oh, everything's okay. We're not gonna, I'm gonna stand. And nothing against this man. He lost his life, and it's a sad situation.
Nothing against this guy. He lost his life. And I love how you roasted him before he told you that. All right, dude. Okay.
Look at what they're doing. A female who's not involved, or maybe a neighbor, or a girlfriend, or something, she's just standing right here. They're serving a warrant. She's standing right here. She's lollygagging around. He's standing halfway in the door, halfway out of the door.
Are there guns drawn? I don't know, dude. Like, why are you trying to be aggressive like this with the warrants? Like, what's going on here? I don't know. I just don't feel like you can you could be surprised that people react this way to cops when they've been an arm of violence forever. You know what I mean? I don't know. This guy inside could be a serial killer, and I would have the same take on this. Like no-knock warrants are unethical, right? Now, there are situations where you're up against a time limit or something. Like, there are rare instances where that makes sense. But like for instance, when like hostage situations, people like SWAT team in and shit. Like, do you not fucking look in a window or something before you do this shit? How are they like this? Like, they're just so ready for like I don't know, confrontation. And then these guys, they're told to knock finally, but they got their guns out. And I guess I don't know how this is going to finish, but nonetheless, you've bred this hostility toward police by doing the no-knock shit and by doing all the other stuff, by militarizing. So this is just lying in the bed you made, right? This is just what happens. And then on the same channel, Brandon, you'll tell people to arm themselves against tyranny. This is the tyranny part. They're police officers. They're not the good guys here. Even if the guy inside is bad. And I don't know what he did. He could be fucking, I don't know, Zodiac. You know what I mean? Of course the reaction is going to be strong. Now, I don't think you should be shooting at people, but like, I mean, we'll see what happens.
He's in the doorway.
Yeah.
You cannot do this.
Okay, so this is them being poorly trained. Did you know that one of the reasons that we wanted to defund the police is because they're incompetent? Yeah. Cops suck. They're not good at their jobs. They're like, they have the college equivalent of a GED, right? Like, you could get a GED out of high school, cool. But then they got a 2-year community college degree. Like, that's the GED of college, right? Like, you get stuff with it, with an associate's, but, like, it's the easy one, right? Everyone who goes to college is like, yeah, I have associates, but it doesn't mean anything, right? Because you need the bachelor's minimum, kind of the master's nowadays, right? You know. That's what these guys have. And then they have a fitness test once. And they're cleared to go. Depends what's in. Not cops. That's what I mean. Like, you could get by with some stuff, sure. You know, if you got to be a truck driver, I think there's some HVAC stuff. There's lots of certificates you can get. Welding, I think, is a good example. You can get good living welding doing that. Good living under capitalism, not necessarily living well. But, you know, why the people that we literally, and I was talking about this on Twitter, you and I, guys, in chat, we're citizens, most of us. For some reason, we have created another class of people that are less qualified than most people who are just citizens to have violent power over us. Sanctioned violent power over us. They're not qualified to have that power, and we're just like, support them. It doesn't make any sense. Like, there was a time when like even like feudalism got this better. If you could fight, you could probably be a guard and have a better life than a serf, right? You could get armed and have a better life because you have more aptitude. They don't have more aptitude. They just don't. They've memorized the law book. Like, they're what? They're not bright people. We should, if you want to have police officers, look, we could talk about, because, I mean, obviously we're going to have law enforcement. If you want police the way they exist today, without changing anything systemically about how we define that job, the minimum you could do is make sure that police were well-educated individuals that were constantly re-upped on their ability to do the job. And frankly, we're worked less, so the stress levels could be down. Mandatory therapy, not just when you shoot somebody. Like, in this bro culture that goes around. Like, we all know cops. None of this is conducive to the job. I have some empathy for cops. There's still some class solidarity here, where they're being exploited by a much more violent branch of government, right? But at the same time, it's hard to have any empathy at all. You know, they're often overworked, they're understaffed, lots of problems going on, and the way that they're taught to even do the crime is inherently traumatic for everyone involved, right? So it's not lost on me that the job sucks, but it's by design that the job sucks. We could have this job not suck very much. This job could be much better. So I don't know, if you're even a fucking police officer, you should be a leftist about policing. Your job sucks. You are constantly the antagonist. You are constantly not addressed by other people as though, like, they want to interact with you when you're doing your job. When you're at 7-Eleven getting on your break, that's when people go, oh, thanks for your service. You think that same motherfucker's going to feel that way when you pull him over doing 55 and a 40? He's not going to like that shit. Kia, thanks for the 3 months. Hawk and Obnoxious, thanks for following. Yeah, Officer Tatum's a dumbass. It just doesn't add up. This is not how we should be doing this. Like, even if you're a cop, you should understand that this is an ass of a job and we can do better. Not for just your conditions, but they're included. Everyone in the world, well, in America, I guess, since we can only do it here, everyone benefits from policing being better and having a higher bar. Everybody. EMTs have a traumatic... I think EMTs have a way more traumatic job. Yeah, absolutely. I do think the peaks of being a cop are maybe more traumatic than an EMT at times, but I think I think EMTs are way more underpaid. But the problem is that they also work for the privatized ambulance services, which is a fucking huge problem. And so, you know, EMTs, there's no way to make that job not traumatic, but what you can do, again, is compensate them more, work them less, and make sure that they have therapy and other outlets, and making sure, like, maybe we rotate out. I don't know how EMT stuff happens, but I know people that I have known that have done EMT jobs have basically just been in EMT stuff, and they haven't been part of, like taking calls or something like that. They're usually in the truck, but maybe that's just locally. Yeah, I agree. But we're not measuring dicks here about who has more trauma. Who cares? Obnoxious Giant, thanks for the prime. Did I say that? We're not measuring dicks. It doesn't matter who has more trauma. Everybody with traumatic jobs like this, militaries included, deserve to have higher compensation, lower, like we'll call them trauma hours because you know what we're talking about. I don't know how you would define them in the reality. Lower amounts of hours that you would interface negatively in pretty broad, obvious opinions with your job, right? Now, an EMT is a little bit harder to do that because that's the job, right? Now, policing can be broken up into several different jobs. In fact, I think EMTs can be broken up into several different jobs, and maybe like, hey, this is emergency. Hey, this is a wellness check. We could have, but because they're privatized, we don't do EMT stuff. They could basically be travel nurses to be like, okay, I can quick diagnose, like, oh, someone's got chest pains. Is this just heartburn, or does this person need to go to the ER? Like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? That could be what an EMT is, but it could also be an EMT takes the healthcare professional of note that needs to be there, is there as a redundancy in case there is a medical issue that needs to happen. They also have supplies for things like if someone's having a panic attack, but they think it's a heart attack. It could be a situation where you send a therapist and EMT. There's lots of ways to do this where you get information, you go, okay, I need to dispatch this and this. And then you go do that from a hub, preferably a public one. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, EMTs are already broken up. Yeah, but they're privatized. This is what I'm talking about. So it's different, right? Because you can't be like situationally, what are we doing here? Do we need this, and this, or do we only need EMTs? Like, because there's situations where someone's just having a panic attack. You don't need a police officer there, right? Like, what if my partner has a panic attack and I'm smoking crack in my living room? Do I need the police there literally sniffing around at my crack? Am I hurting anybody doing my refreshing crack? I'm using a strong thing here because that's just a happenstance, right? Like maybe they're having a panic attack because they really want to do crack, but they know it's not good for their health, and I'm only doing it once. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. EMTs would like less cops on calls, please. I guarantee. Yeah. I'm assuming you said speaking from first. Yeah. So. Was sniffing around my crack. I would never do crack. Chat. For one reason. I would probably like it. So we can't do it. Can't do it. It's not good for you. If you did, who cares? Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I would care even less if we had a healthcare apparatus that could handle addiction and destigmatize it and help people if they need it. You know what I mean? But I don't care if you could do just a little crack, which is chemically kind of not how it works, but that's fine. If you could do just a little bit of it on the side, I don't give a fuck. I don't care what you guys put in your own bodies. I care that when you put it in your bodies, you don't have access to health care, and it usually leads to extenuating circumstances under capitalism that make other actions happen. But you know what I mean? Crack in general, just putting that in your body and getting real fucking high, I don't give a fuck. I don't care about that. Might as well make it safe. 100%, yeah. Just got here. Corn father, I might lose my job. A trans employee quit and did a no-call, no-show. My misogynistic, narcissistic coworker goes, fuck him, you know what? And then proceed to misgender them to the point I had to stop them. He's now saying, me telling a fellow manager this is a breach and my store manager might be on board with him? Fuck him. Well, Leander, first of all, that's fucked. Second of all, yeah, you fight that shit. Because I think if they do fire you for that, that litigation's not going to go their way. There's no way right now in this political climate that they can get away with firing you for, unless you put your hands on them. Did you throw hands? Yeah, that's some HR business right there. Yeah. So if you didn't like do anything that would get you fired outside of that conversation, which I'm assuming you didn't, fuck them. Get after it, dude. We will support you. Let us know. Fuck them.
There's no. This is a routine warrant.
Damn, that's crazy, Nimble.
Clearly, it's not. You gotta act like this is game time every single time you show up to do something. You don't stand in a fatal funnel. You treat this like this guy got a gun and he'll shoot you with a fully automatic gun. You get her off to the side. You don't stand in a fatal funnel. You stand off, bladed on the door, so he cannot see you. If he starts shooting, it's gonna have to go through bricks. You have cover and concealment to a certain degree right on this porch.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree that if that's what their job is to go in there blasting. But are they blasting? They do have 3 cops. That's pretty aggressive, I think. I don't know.
Now, them AK rounds will go right through that brick, but it'll slow it down and it'll change the trajectory faster than it would just hitting your vest. Roll the film.
And eventually.
Dion, it's Houston Police. Let's do this.
So, just so you know, that's how it went down. The officer that's standing right in front of the door, he took an L, unfortunately.
He took an L, bro. Wow.
And the other officers that's standing around, some of them got shot. The suspect ended up losing his life as well. However, this is why you do no-knock warrants. You don't give a man time to go load up a gun, get prepared, aim at the door, think about his decision-making. Do I want to go to prison for the rest of my life or do I not? You blow the thing up. You throw flashbangs. You sweep it.
Bro, this is the mentality of cops, right? There's a better way. There's a way we don't have to have any violence in either situation, not just better violence. Like, that's the problem with the mentality. I agree that to mitigate overall, you do highly tactical and you do a military operation on the house, and you treat the American citizen that it has the right to a due process, that you treat him like an insurgent, he's gonna act like one. Like, what? Yeah, you're invading his private home. Yes, that's going to happen. Like, it's just wild. It's just wild that we can't think of a better way. Sometimes, sure, I know that there's going to be situations we can't fix it with you know, more reasoned approaches. Sure. But are you telling me that the police had a dialogue with this guy prior to this? Like a real dialogue, one that wasn't just threats? One that wasn't like, okay, so here's the crime. Let's talk about that. Like, there's so much antagonism between these two groups that it breeds this reaction. It's just wild to me. We could prevent this from the get-go by just the way we police. You would have fewer police deaths. You'd have fewer police shootings. You'd have better police that are happier and more well paid. I don't understand. And the citizens, of course, would then be happier too because the cops would be off our fucking nuts. Like, he's innocent, quick, shoot his dog. Exactly. Don't come into my fucking house. There's like 3 individuals that you could kill that would make me want to kill you back immediately, and I probably would try. And 2 of them are my dog, are animals, or my pets. Like, you like, you know. And that means, like, I'm not seeing it in person. Like, if you attack one of my friends in person, obviously I'm going to come after you. But I mean, like, I'm not going to revenge the death of Alex. You know what I mean? Not in the way that, like, Batman does. I'm not like that. I would be like full extent of the law. Like, and I love Alex to death. But I mean, like, there's just another level that you get to, right? Like, you fucking shoot my dog, I'll hunt you. And that's just how it is, right? I will do it because he doesn't know better. And Alex was probably really high and he probably had it coming. Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know actually if I would. I guess it depends on what would happen to Alex. But I guess I was thinking like, if they just came in and they blasted, yeah, I would probably, yeah, I wouldn't fucking like that. I will though. I will fucking, yeah, Jake Quick, absolutely. I'll learn gun fu, dude. Yeah. I don't have a certain set of skills yet.
That's why you do no-knock warrants. Knocking on the door, get you shot like this. Knocking on the door, get Brianna Taylor shot. Because now you got people getting up, getting guns, shooting the police, and then now you return fire in Brianna Taylor's case, and now she lost her life.
Is the narrative there that the cops didn't shoot first? Am I nuts? Am I being gaslit right now? And it was no knock, right? They didn't knock, did they? Didn't they just fucking raid the house? Am I crazy? Did I forget everything about that case? Brianna Taylor was sleeping, right? And it was the wrong apartment. Yeah. They didn't even go to the right place. And they were in plain clothes. Yeah, what? No. That's just crazy talk. Huh. Okay, they thought they had fucking intruders, dude.
That's why no-knock warrants are way more important than what people are understanding. Now, if you ain't in law enforcement, you probably don't have no idea what I'm talking about. But for people who are on tactical teams, SWAT team.
Yeah, because of the way that the mentality behind how you look at this. You look at them as enemy combatants. Not as somebody that has the right to a fucking trial. You went there knowing that you were probably going to shoot at folks. Right? Bro, it's 2021. Hot Carls, dude. Come on, man. Did you just learn about, are you like in a middle school?
People who do warrants like this and have gotten shot, they know what I'm talking about.
That's
now
when
to
I
my
learned
second
it.
point. The fecklessness of these police chiefs and diverting attention.
Is that the right word?
Rotafin.
This is the device. This is an auto switch.
ATF Special Agent in Charge Fred Milanowski says the switches are hot on Houston streets.
2.6 seconds to empty this magazine for one of those fully automatic handguns.
I
Officials
guess
the
he's just being
switches
severe.
swiped. The ATF says some
So, yeah,
7
it is.
arrests have been made thus far this year. Sources today confirming this man, Mario Watts, was arrested last month.
Black man.
Several charges. Possession of a prohibited
What's the black man have to do with anything? What?
weapon, one of them.
No room for suspects to be armed like this.
What a coward. What a cowardice thing to say. Now, I didn't see the whole interview. Maybe he did a really good job. What are you talking about? What? There's no room for our suspects to be armed. Like, okay, yeah, we playing on an even playing field. You act like we on a football field and there's a referee. They're violating how much they're armed. It doesn't matter, Chief. You wasting your time. You can get all the switches you want off the streets. If you had a AR, you can do the same damage. That AR will go through your vest like paper. What does it matter if he got a switch or he don't? The problem is he got all of these arrests that he's been arrested for, and now they're serving an arrest warrant for him, and you didn't do a no-knock. Probably because you're trying to be PC.
What? What? God damn it, bro. All right. I don't think being PC is why you knock on someone's door. I think it might just be the fucking Constitution. I think it might just be a constitutional right to be able to be served a warrant. I don't think that's fucking woke, is it? Oh, we're gonna blame the fucking left. We all agree that there are some things the Constitution is right about, right? Like, I believe the right to a trial is by your peers, and like being served warrants is pretty good. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good law. I don't know. Should I consult my book? Where's it at? Here it is. I got the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution just on my desk at all times. It's not a prop. I actually did go through this and learn it. Well, I didn't learn it. I didn't memorize the shit, but I learned about it, rather, I suppose. The right of people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. No warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by... So how can you serve a warrant if you don't knock on the door and you come in guns blazing, bro? Is that a warrant? Is that... Tell the guy. Be like, hey, call him up. Be like, look, we have a warrant for your arrest for this shit. How can we make this the easiest thing? Like, what's the easiest thing going on here? Like, what's the crime? What was he even doing? Drugs? Selling drugs? Do we need to get fucking every drug dealer in the whole world? How about we just decriminalize this shit and stop dealing with it? Let them do their fucking drug things. Have healthcare apparatuses there to address addiction that already occurs. People will do things less if it is regulated. I'm just tossing that out there. Did you know the number of abortions goes up when you fucking prohibit it? Isn't that wild? Because they don't have access to the other stuff. Same thing here. You're going to have higher rates of addiction when you don't address the reason people are addicted. Rather than just like addressing the after the addiction happens. They go, wait, this person got addicted to this. I'm taking it. Like, there's a broader systemic issue.
That's the problem.
No.
Not the switches. You can eliminate every switch. You can still, they could have still killed these officers with a handgun.
Why is he calling them switches? Is that a gun? Is that a gun slang I'm not picking up? He's talking about like pistols and Glocks, right? The guy held up a Glock. Are those called switches? Just the stick, yeah.
If the guy had better aim.
A drop-in assembly that replaces the trigger group? Mod to make it full auto or similar to full auto? Yeah, some of you have day collars and it shows.
He would have hit the officer right in the head. It would have been over. Handgun. You only need 3 or 4 rounds.
Okay, but you just said a handgun can't blow through the brick.
Doesn't matter how fast. This whole magazine can be gone in 2 seconds. It doesn't matter.
It does. Why does he think it doesn't matter? Okay, just tossing this out there. If you were a cop or anybody, military even, doesn't matter. If you're any person that exists and you were standing behind a brick wall and I said, you can have the following options to get shot at. Now, granted, an AR is going to shoot through the brick wall in some way. You can orient yourself however you'd like to be behind this brick wall. You can use it for cover, but they are shooting at this brick wall. Would you rather have a guy shooting his automatic rifle, I'm assuming that's what he means, or AR-15, whichever, his AR-15, his AK-47, whatever it is, something that punches through the wall. Would you rather have him shoot 3 times through that wall? Or would you rather have a guy with the same gun and the same wall and the same shoot 10 times that amount? 30 times. Which one would you rather get shot at by? And if you survive, we'll give you $1 million. Wow. It's pretty interesting how it's just obviously 3. Clearly it's 3. Why don't we do both? It's not the magazine size. Why don't we do both? Why don't we restrict the amount of illegal weapons they can have so that you don't have to deal with that? Why are you talking to me about the stick?
What matters is, why are these people on the streets in the first place?
What? He was in a house. This wasn't the streets.
Second about, what is your tactics?
Wait, what do you mean? What is he talking about? What the systemic reason behind that guy being in the streets would be? I'm assuming he was selling drugs. Well, the reason there would be money. You see? He wanted money. And you allowed a market for him to do so, but in an illegal way. And because it's illegal, there's a certain element of violence that comes along with that. Because there needs to be, to maintain one's freedom in certain circumstances. And because everybody involved in that has the same concerns, they all start arming themselves, and violence becomes more common. Also, enhanced by, or exacerbated by is probably a better word, the other people that are taking part in this are also very desirous of capital. Because, you see, they want it and they don't have it unless they do the illegal thing. At least not to the degree that their lifestyle desires. And so you've left this black market open for drugs that encourages violence, and then you militarize the police to the point where protection against this force trying to keep capital from their hands. They had to play catch-up and start an arms race. And your response to that is not to de-escalate it, but just to shoot more bullets at them. I feel like it's not a good idea. I'm tossing it out there. Usually when there's something on fire, you undo the fire. You don't go, well, you can't burn this down because I'm going to burn it down. So if I burn it down first, technically, you didn't. See how that doesn't make any sense? No, there's no winner there. No one wins. The guy's house still burns down. He just got double fire, and maybe you can claim you've burned it more. You put it out, and you try to reverse the damage if you can. If you can't, you build the house back up better in a safer way so it doesn't catch fire again, hopefully. And you certainly don't set fire to it on purpose. This is a good fucking allegory. You're welcome.
Because this is not fairy tale land. You're not going to be able to say, hey, wait, bad guy. You don't supposed to have guns like this.
He's so cute sometimes. I love the way he talks, man. Yeah, but you see how you called him the bad guy? That could be the problem, bro. Like, you're calling him the bad guy.
Bad guy, you don't supposed to be that violent because we sent over officers that wouldn't be really about that life. So, and our training ain't that good.
So funny.
And I'm not saying...
Dude, I would love Brandon Tatum if he wasn't a fucking dumbass, dude. He'd be fun to talk to. He's just so fucking stupid. I absolutely love him.
And HPD's training is bad. That don't look good, that scenario. So bad guy, just chill out real quick.
Yeah, he comes across as like so cherubic, right? He's like a kid. He's just kind of fun to listen to. I get why he has a following until he opens his fucking mouth and says words in sequence.
We got a knock warrant. We're supposed to knock on the door, and you're supposed to come to the door.
Jesus.
Come on, man. Like,
come on, man. Don't knock on his fucking door then. With your guns out. Maybe don't do that. I don't... Do we need him right this second for something? Can we not put off his arrest? Be like, hey, bro, we know that you're in there, and, you know, I mean, yeah, wait till he goes gets groceries. Yeah. Dude's got to take a shit at some point. It doesn't make any sense.
I know that's an excerpt, so I'm giving him credit. He may have said something.
Yeah. Even people like Tatum fail to realize that the black community has become a society within a society because of the way we are grouped together around the country, and we have to live our own way, which fucking sucks sometimes, like selling drugs and having gang hierarchy in some communities, yeah. I mean, this happens in white communities too, and in any nationality, really, or any just any group. But, yeah, obviously there's a systemically, and for obvious reasons, I think, if we're lefties, we all know the reasons. Starts with slavery, red line, all stuff. Like, there are reasons that there's black communities, and there's reasons that those black communities are poor, and there's obviously incentive in poor communities in general to try to, like, make money. And, like, most of the time, like cops, for instance, were responses to gangs were responses to cops. Like, these things, just stop policing the way we do. It doesn't have to be this way. They cause the problem. It's like it just perpetuates itself. It doesn't make any sense to police this way at all. Sometimes you're going to get in violent altercations. It's not going to be nothing. But if you improve the material conditions of everybody to the point where they don't have to scrape to literally not be on the streets, I mean, that's a really good place to start. Don't you think? Don't you think making everybody comfortably surviving, no matter their economic success, like mitigating the intense amount of stress it takes to like rent? Do you know if you could just get rid of people's rent and then be like, hey, you can someday just buy a house because you don't have housing costs, your housing market would explode. People would make families. You'd have your conservative capitalistic life. I have no idea why they don't want to incentivize this. It doesn't make any sense. Like, literally just ask people. Chad is a great example of this. Ask people that don't have money. Some of you have money. Most of you don't. It's more often than not you don't have money. So, if you just ask them, hey, what would be the number one bill if I just took away one bill from you? What would it be that could help you most? Most people would say rent, and this is probably in order, rent, medical bills, college bills, like either student loans or you're going now, like for books and shit. Those three things. So why don't we undo those? Not many people say my food bill. Not many people say, oh yeah, take my gas off or my electricity. You know what I mean? Unless that's your only bill, right? Then they're usually like kids that have like gas bills and then they just go home. They already have a home. They don't pay rent. Like, that was definitely my biggest bill when I was a teenager. Yeah. 200 square feet. Nuts. $500 a month. Nuts. That's nuts. It's got to be rent for most people. Or mortgage, yeah. I mean, yeah, either way. Just living costs, like your shelter cost. So, obviously, shelter is the number one thing you need. Like, it's so weird I got to bang this drum. This sounds so obvious to me. $1,400 a month in just rent. Now imagine if you just had 1 year where you didn't have to spend that $1,400. 1 year of it. Crazy. I mean, what could you do with that? You could buy a house. Higher down payment, lower mortgage than what you're doing now, and it gets to be yours. Like my poor landlord, I am thinking of your poor landlord. Your poor landlord could do one of two options. I have an option for this. Your poor landlord could do a reverse mortgage on the rental property, convert them into condominiums for private sale, which of course, would be short term, not great. Long term, maybe, but they're buying them. They're not renting them. So I guess condominium is a strong word, but you get what I'm saying. Or they can or they can just sell it and get out. If you do the reverse mortgage thing, they would also have the option because, basically like the government's buying it back from you, this housing. You could also be like, okay, and do you also want to make a wage on top of that by being a landlord? Now you have to follow our standards. But like, do you think landlords want to be landlords? Have you ever met a landlord that fucking loves that shit? They like it because passive income, and they don't want to actually be landlords. There's some good ones, like as far as like good landlords go, that like take care of the shit they need to take care of and stuff. But you know what I mean? Like, rent is $20K a year. My partner could travel so much on that kind of exactly. Exactly. You met one good landlord. Yeah, I've had no good landlords. But I'm just saying, like this is super easy. We could take care of this. I guess we'll finish this video.
Smart. He looks stupid with a mask on at a press conference speaking.
This is
when he probably take that thing out as soon as he get off the stage. He's probably a sorry chief. That's all I'm saying. I could be wrong. But I'm just looking at how stupid he is with a mask on at a press conference. Anyway.
What?
And then he's
why is that?
Talking about is
it because there's people 6 feet away from him or something? It's like I mean, I wear a mask in public too, bro.
Suspects shouldn't be armed like that. No, we need better tactics.
No.
We need to be more armed.
Wow.
And we need to keep these people off the streets.
Okay.
That's something that we can handle.
This is the kind of guy that, like, you know those. I'm done with that video. You know, I can't think of them now, but you know that those word problems where they go like, the dad is this old, the son is this old, the mom is this old, or rather, like, person A is younger than person B, who's older than person C, who's the oldest? You know what I mean? Like, or something like that. You know what I'm talking about. I'm sure that actually answers itself, but I'm not thinking about it right now. But that kind of stuff, I feel like he never gets those right because he can't find the root cause. You know what I mean? He can't ever find the actual progenitor of the problem that is trying to be answered. He's just like, well, they did a bad thing. What if we do more bad stuff? That'll stop them. Why would that stop them? Have you asked them why they do the bad stuff? What's the bad stuff? They're selling drugs. Okay, so why is selling drugs bad? Because they're illegal. Okay, why are they illegal? Because people get addicted. Okay, why is addiction bad? They just keep rolling it back. You know what I mean? It's a healthcare problem. Okay, so why don't they get healthcare? Because they can't afford it. So why don't we make it affordable? There we go. We fixed it.